This is the microphone. Yes.
Hello, everyone. Clap once if you can hear me.
Oh,
Clap twice. Give me a beat bop.
bebop.
Ah, okay. So today what we want to talk about and really focus on is where we are as a nation in comparison to the international community in terms of print to digital, and more so, what is the future of Haiti? How does that look? When we talk about Haiti, we're talking about Haiti on a grand scale, but also how we want it to look. What is our passion for the country? How do we want to envision it? What do we want the content to be coming out? How do we represent ourselves on an international scale? So to help me do this panel, or excuse me, I'll be moderating this panel, it will be Carel. I'll also have Wanda from the Union Suite, if you can come up, please. Also, Jetry Dumont from Aibo Post. Thank you, guys. And Sequoia. Thank you, Sequoia, from Black Enterprise. She's on first name basis. She's kind of like Madonna, guys. Stephen. And there's one more fantastic addition. Stephen, are you in the house? Come on up. Lisa Godwin from New York Times, welcome.
Hey. You good?
Okay, so just to recap, we'll do interviews. We have Sequoia Blodgett from Black Enterprise. We have Carel Pedre, Mr. Media Extraordinaire of Haiti. We have Lisa Godwin from New York Times. Wanda from the Union Suite. We have Jetry Dumont, Aibo Post. And we also have Stephen from Fastco. Oh, Inc. Magazine. Fantastic.
Yes.
So we have a good breadth and good example of people who are experienced in the game. People here are locally, but also on an international scale. So I'll be standing because I want to make sure my guests are comfortable. I think the first thing that I want to ask is that, since we're short on time, I wanted to do intros, but after living in Haiti for 18 months, I found that media meant very different things to very different people. So the first thing I want to ask to everyone on the panel is, what does media mean to you?
Okay, I guess I'll start. So for me, just kind of give a brief background of how I started my company, Union Suite, which is basically just a social media platform that bridged the gap between Haiti and Haitian Americans or Haitian Caribbeans, basically Haitians all over the world. And one of the reasons why I decided to start this social media platform was because I was disconnected to the country. I'd never been to Haiti at the time. I didn't know about the history. I didn't know what was going on in Haiti, and I didn't even know how to connect with other Haitian or Haitian Americans or anyone else in the world. So my thought process was, how do I find all of the people that feels the way I feel and get us all together to where we can now provide content and share and also show the world what we are doing in our respectable fields. So for me, media basically means that, like inform, entertain, and also inspire, which is what my platform does.
Right. I would say that, thank you, Wanda. I would say that's the same thing. I think that media is that bridge between you and your community. It's to connect you with what your community is doing, depending on your interests. So I think that, like Wanda said, it's like as a Haitian American, she wanted to know what's going on in her community and what other Haitian Americans are doing. So L'Union Suite is that bridge to that kind of information. And I think that there's different type of media, and so media is the link. It's the way to connect.
Yeah, I think personally media for us, so as Black Enterprise Magazine, publication, digital, we are the only 100% Black-owned enterprise publication that exists on the earth. So media for us means being able to tell stories from our perspectives, changing narratives, and being able to bring a voice to our community.
Yeah, to me, it's translating the people's story, mainly. And in Haiti, I think it's very important because there's so many stories that are not told. So to me, that's what media is.
All right, good.
Hi, well, coming from my media background of about 10 years, I've worked for every media TV network or publication out there. So media, I can agree, is a way to inform and entertain. Working at MTV, our media was a way of how we entertained our audience, how we connected with our audience. Now with the New York Times, that is how we inform. We tell the news. We tell compelling stories of how we're connecting with our target audience. So that's basically what media is: connecting, entertaining, informing.
Yep.
I think those are all great answers. So, Steve Suthian, I'm with Fast Company and Inc. magazine. For us, media is an exchange of value, right, in the form of informations, whether it's an exchange of innovations through design or things that help you do your day-to-day from the corporate standpoint. Innovation, design, technology, leadership, and all of those things. So media is an exchange of value to my...
That's it.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
We all agree.
My next question is in terms to mobile. Haiti, like Africa, is a market where the majority of us receive our content through mobile. How has mobile impacted your business? What platforms, and I assume I would gather to gauge what you're going to say, but what platforms are you using? What do you think in terms of the new technology like a Snapchat or whatever, WhatsApp? What are those technologies doing for your business? What do you think is the next iteration of those platforms and how it will help you succeed in your market?
So I think personally for Black Enterprise, we use a lot of social media to drive traffic these days. It gives you a direct connection to the community. So I would say specifically for us, IG, especially IG Live, because we are able to have those conversations directly and we get that feedback directly. So that's probably the platform that we're using the most. And in terms of mobile, because we've been a legacy brand, 47 years in the game, we had a transition going through from that media publication, being a magazine, to mobile. And so because of that, we had that kind of bridge to growth. And so being able to have those social media platforms and access to those platforms now gives us that direct connection that we've been able to utilize and scale with.
I definitely can relate to that. Being that the New York Times is a legacy publication, we are in that transition of making everything digital and growing our digital subscribers, which recently quadrupled within the last couple of months because of all the initiatives that we're taking. For example, one of the partnerships we just closed is Snapchat. So now Snapchat and New York Times have joint partnerships on, subscribing to Snapchat, having our news sent through Snapchat channels, and also creating stories that way as well of how to get that younger demographic involved.
Yeah. But I would say that I have a radio background, so I still do radio. So Chokarella was a radio show before it became a media platform. We use everything. I think that the most successful platform that we have right now is Facebook, with Facebook Live. Like, we live broadcast every interviews happening on the radio show. And also we cover events and do special things. And one of the things that we're gonna do on the platform right now is to try to see if we can create more original web series and producing podcasts, and definitely continue to drive traffic on social media like Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter as well. And one of the things that I've realized also is just that you have to be everywhere, because you don't know where your audience is and how your audience get access to that type of content that you're producing. So basically that's it.
So for us at Fast Company Inc., the philosophy is we're going to be wherever our user want us to be, right? So whether it's social media, online, mobile, podcasts, or what have you. Having said that, I'm going to come back to our user to influence us and tell us where you want to consume our content. So literally last week we just found out that our podcasts in SoundCloud got about 500,000 followers, right? I was like, I didn't know that. I was like, I thought it was just something we were gonna put up and see how it's gonna go, right? But you guys are gonna tell us where we should be, right? The trajectory right now is mobile is hot, right? So I think the growth in mobile is exponential in comparison to where we saw desktop in the early on, right? So I think mobile is now the future. We're gonna see a lot more engagement that's happening in mobile platform, right? Whether it's through even your social media platform, Facebook app, and Snapchat is mobile first. So I think more and more us as a media company needs to grow from a traditional platform to a mobile first environment or emerging media, something that is more future looking than the current.
Sure.
Thank you, guys. I want to respect the time, but I do have one last question. From an international perspective, Haitians don't really get to tell their own story, right? a lot of times when you're watching television or the news or you're reading content, it's always a voice that's on the outside, really kind of depicting what the story is. In terms of media and the digital, content creation is not even the next thing. It was the thing last month, and it's the thing that we as a whole in a collective need to take control of. So how important is it that we continue to tell our story and provide authenticity from a voice that is ours, where we provide to the world instead of the world providing to us?
Can I start?
Absolutely.
Actually, for now, the Haitian market is asking for original content. They want content about themselves. So if you're a media platform and you're not creating content, you're basically going to die. Carel
You're not a media platform and not creating anything. So.
Exactly. So because
You're just a copycat.
We were used to media platform that were not creating content, but now with Facebook, with Twitter, you kind of have to create something original.
Yeah.
So I guess we're in the training process. And in that training process, we'll get to tell our story to the world. So
Perfect.
We'll get there.
Wanda?
So for my company, since we're predominantly social network, for us, creating content is important because that was, like I said, one of the reasons why we started out, because we realized some of the content that we needed, that I was looking for, wasn't available. So even with my platform, I'm more of a community. Like, I actually allow like our readers and followers, subscribers to tell me what they want. Like, I'm always asking, what do you want more of? What do you want less of? And using that information to create content that's not available. Like right now we're going through the situation with TPS, and there was a lot of people that didn't even know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. So I'm like, what do you guys want? People are like, we want answers. We want more information. That information is not being given in a way to where it's being broken down to where like my mom or my grandmother, would understand. So we said, okay, we're going to put together, an online forum with immigration attorneys and all these people and provide the information. We went on Facebook Live like Carel does, and within like 15 minutes, we had over 50,000 people that was being reached for just that information. So always basically keeping up with what's going on in Haiti, utilizing the media here, and making sure like they're involved in our conversation as well. So we're in the States, but I'm not just going to provide what's going on, in America that I can get at any time. I want to make sure that I'm also connected with the media here, the photographers that are here, that's on the ground. When a situation happened, a hurricane happened, and there's no content, they're just reporting. CNN can't get there in time. By the time CNN is trying to get there, we've already received the WhatsApp videos. They're flooding our phones. Like, we're able to get that right away. So basically being able to always give our people what they're looking for and also providing the information to the world in a way that they wouldn't normally see it is an important part of, creating content for us.
Content creation is the key to success because when you see it, the way I see it is like, I have a radio show, for example. It's like if one of our popular band or artists is releasing a song, so they're going to do a media tour. So it's like we have access to the same type of content. So it's the way you're treating it, it's the way you're presenting it to the audience that will make you successful. So that's why we understood with Chokarella, because I was in a phase in my career where I'm popular, I'm doing TV, I'm doing radio, but I was like, I wanted to take what I'm doing to the next level. So for me, creating content was the key. So that's why we go out, we cover events, we do special interviews, we created what we call talent of the day, personality of the week, and things like that. And that's why now we are, how I could say, very popular, and we see the growth of our audience from Facebook. For example, let me tell you, when we started back in 2015, we had 3,000 likes on Facebook. Now we just got 170,000.
Fantastic.
So just to give you an idea of how content can engage your audience. And I think that we all need that engagement. It's like you're creating content to engage that audience, for them to share, for them to feel a sense of pride as well. Because for me, like Haitian Americans, they love my page because I'm showing them the good part of Haiti. They want to know what's going on. Like they're watching that live right now.
So you're helping
it's
to
a
change
summit
the
in Haiti,
narrative.
So for me, it's a really good thing, and content creation is the key.
Perfect. All right. I would also like to ask both Sequoia and Lisa about this as well. Sequoia, as Black Enterprise, is, like you said, the only all-Black publication that's been around for 47 years. And then New York Times itself, also from a print to digital perspective, when digital began to boom, New York Times did go through this period where there was questions on a publication such as New York Times closing down. So now they're starting to turn the bridge, and I think a lot of that is accredited to original content. There's content from Black Enterprise in terms of authenticity, and there's content in terms of making sure that you have an established voice, right? So what is the voice that you believe that Black Enterprise has, and it also in terms of New York Times, and why do you believe that is successful, and why that has provided such longevity? And I think that will help to provide some insight into the young talent here that's emerging on the stage.
Yeah, I think it goes back to authenticity, as you said. I feel like the voice of Black Enterprise is the voice of the community. So we're looking at Black Americans, we're looking at Haitians, we're looking at Africans, we're looking at the entire diaspora across the nation, right? And we have a low barrier to entry. Like if you come to me and you have, like I spoke to Wanda yesterday, like she has an established platform with an incredible reach. That's something that we're willing to collaborate with to extend that reach into the United States. So I think our positioning is to create that voice and amplify that voice versus having to go pitch to another larger publication that may not, have that lower barrier to entry that, you may have to go through some processes to get through. So for us, it's to amplify that voice.
For the New York Times, I really feel like our voice speaks for itself because it's such a known publication, and our voice has been standing, in that community for years now. What I feel like, honestly, right now, that everyone's tuning into the New York Times is because our current president hates us. So everyone's tuning into the New York Times to see exactly what are our opinions, what is our voice, what's happening in the world, to view our opinion of journalism. So engaging with our audience, creating legacy customers that are millennials, like we have legacy customers now that may be 80 years old. Well, we want to reach out to those millennials now to make them legacy customers. So it's all about the authenticity, like you said, and creating those compelling stories and maintaining that. Like for right now, we have our virtual reality content that is very amazing, and everyone's like tuning in to what are our virtual reality stories because you can feel so engaged in the content. So that is helping millennials transition into being legacy customers for the New York Times.
Yeah, so I think when you start talking about authentic, right, but it's also, you're talking about being recognized. So I'm just going to give you like a couple of examples, right? So if you're, without knowing what the brand is, when you're reading a long form essay that is pretty heavy probably, you could guess that it's a New Yorker style, right? Or if you're looking at multiple different examples in one stories and it's being stitched together into a one cohesive kind of story, you're probably talking about The Economist. So us at Ink and Fast Company, that's what we're trying to do, right? What angle that we want to put into telling the story that makes sense for you and recognizable, right? So for Fast Company, it's in a voice of innovation and design. So when we start talking about a business, but in the design angle, hopefully you can recognize it as a Fast Company story. So I think that is the ultimate kind of thing that media, us at least at Fast Company and Inc. wanted to achieve.
Perfect. We are short on time, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I love media, I love digital, so I can talk about this all day. However, my one last, question / answer is for the Wandas, Jetry, the Carels, and even you guys, if you are entrepreneurial as well. In media, what support do you need from a technology standpoint? What do you need? And I believe that we Haitians, as alluded to the panel before, we need to start to work as a collective in terms of figuring out how we support each other and how we support everyone else across the diaspora. So what do you need support in? And what do you look for? Not only you're probably providing a good of service, but what do you look for exchange and from your compatriots that are sitting here today?
Us personally at Aibo Post, I think the most important thing for us in Haiti right now, it's the internet structure. We need broadband.
Yeah, man.
We need people to be able to watch our videos. We need people to be able to download our pages so they can read our articles. That's what we need. So it's an infrastructural problem for us.
Technology,
That-
infrastructure, yes.
Exactly. So that's our main problems.
I will definitely add also, we need sponsors. We need people to give us ad because right now in Haiti, and you know it, Mildred, big companies, they rely on legacy medias for advertisement. Like mobile advertisement or online advertisement is not a thing yet
They will
in
come.
that community.
They will
Definitely they will, but they're slow, man.
I'm going to piggyback on what like Kyle just said about needing support. So from a small business standpoint, just taking a passion and just running with it, right? We're doing everything on our own. We don't have like a big company producing video and doing all these things. We're using apps. We're being creative. We're finding ways to produce content that looks like we have large companies doing it, but we're really doing it from like mobile phones and, you know, different things like that. And we're able to reach sometimes the people that, you know, you guys are looking for, marketing companies are looking for. Like if a hotel, you know, opens up here and you want to bring people here, us coming here and just doing a tour of the hotel is going to drive people to come and visit, you know, the country. It's going to drive tourism because we're showing the beautiful side. We're showing the things you don't normally see. We're talking to the people on the ground. We're showing you the experience of being in a hotel in Haiti or at a market and so on in Haiti.
So you're establishing your value proposition.
Right. But we're not getting the support. Where if a large advertising company or someone wants to market, they're going to market to these companies and do all these commercials. Where a large majority of like Haitian Americans that even want to come to travel Haiti, they're not watching those commercials. They're watching what we're doing. They're watching our feeds. They're, you know, watching Chokarella and reading what you guys are doing. But no one's coming to talk to us. Like we're not being brought to that table of the audience that you guys are looking for. But we already have their attention. Like we can get them to buy things. They trust us. They believe in what we're saying, and we're not getting that support.
Well, you will. Well, thank you guys. I know we're wrapping up. I appreciate everyone's time.
Thank
The one thing I do want to say though, however, you're looking to businesses to help you. There's a slew of very talented young Haitian artists, creatives, I mean, in the room alone and just across. You're looking to the businesses to support you. You need to also support them. So let's just keep the ecosystem going and let's advance Haiti technologically. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.